Behind Britain's front doors, a battle is brewing.
He hasn't had his rent for ages. He's owed 24 grand, boss.
It is disgraceful.
On one side, 11 million renters.
This house is hell for us.
Thousands of whom fall victim to rogue landlords.
They are rat droppings. It's really, really nasty.
On the other side, 2 million private landlords.
Look. I'm being down clean of sewers.
Many facing financial ruin at the hands of tenants from hell.
Oh, disgusting.
I'm just so angry.
Look at it. Oh!
Let's go.
In this series, we follow the heroes who take slum landlords down.
Start a fire, electrocute somebody.
And the experts whose job it is to evict nightmare tenants.
Get that away, man! Remember what the court said, you should have been out 2 weeks ago.
In Britain's overheated housing market, fraud is rising steeply. Landlords and tenants are increasingly falling prey to elaborate scams. Scams that can cost victims thousands of pounds and plenty of grief. Chris Sharp from the Landlord Group is heading to a house to start eviction proceedings against unlawful occupiers. They may or may not be the victims of a clever con trick that he's seen all too often.
Organised gangs are actually looking out for properties that are going onto the market, and they are speculating that some of these properties will be vacant already.
Chris's clients, the owners of the property, had moved out of their home and put it up for sale. Just 2 weeks later, they discovered someone had broken in. Now there are strangers occupying the house, claiming to be tenants.
The occupier of the property claims that he paid £4,000 cash to basically a total stranger, moved into the property, now claiming the place as his own assured sole tenancy. Right, the property's just over here.
As a court date to remove the occupiers has now been set, Chris is here to inform them. There's clear evidence the house has been broken into.
Now, if you look, these locks have been changed. This is a new lock. This lock is clearly not for this door. It's been jemmied open, it's been drilled and pried out. And so is this one. And then they've filled it back up. Now, if that's not suspicious, I don't know what is. So my client has got no way of getting in. The estate agent who was selling it, he can't get in. He only had permission to sell the property, but he can't do anything with it. He can't get in. There's nobody in. We're done.
After serving the eviction notice, something catches Chris's eye.
There's somebody in there? We believe there's somebody in there, a young girl. That's interesting. Yeah. Right.
With no one answering the door, Chris's job is done for now. But soon after Chris leaves, a man arrives. Durson Alton claims it's him who has been the victim of the scam.
This property was advertising in Gumtree as to let. I asked him to view the property. He's bringing me here. I like the property. I signed the contract. I pay him money. So how do I know a property doesn't belong to him? Then after 2 weeks, somebody else appears. He's claiming he's the landlord. He's asked me to leave the property. I said, I'm not going to leave the property. I have the contract.
Durson claims to have proof of the man who let him the property.
That's his photograph inside this property. The guy showed this property to me with very confident behavior. Again, that's him.
This fake landlord may have appeared confident, but he had no legal right to rent out the property. The rightful owners, Simon and Claire, have been through hell and back for the last 2 months.
It's our family home.
Yeah.
That's where we brought our son up.
Our house had only been on the market for 2 weeks when this happened.
They got in there within hours of our estate agent being in there.
I was phoned as I was leaving work. There's people living in your house.
And you called me.
And then, obviously I called him first and went, ah!
Trying to put the shock behind them, Simon and Claire went to the house to meet Durson and his partner.
They told us to take off our shoes. Now, it's not that I have any objection to taking off my shoes, but I have an objection to be told by somebody who's illegally occupying my house to take my shoes off in my house.
These two people were just sitting there telling us how to be in our own house.
He's a bad man.
It's surreal.
I explained I had sympathy for his situation, but I really needed for him to vacate my house. I need to sell it. He just harassed me for a new lease.
He constantly talked about compromise. We need to find a compromise. And categorically, we kept saying, the house is not for rent.
But when Durson refused to leave, the relationship quickly became acrimonious, with angry texts flying back and forth.
You are horribly little man, and you seems intent on destroying my life. Thanks, I can only hope karma takes big shit on your head.
Durson claims he's done nothing wrong and that he's paying rent to the Gumtree landlord in good faith.
I am here as tenants. I will stand here for my right. Of course, I will attend the court. I will not leave this property. That's 100%.
Chris Sharp is heading to an eviction hearing. His clients, Simon and Claire, recently put their family home up for sale, but someone broke in and a complete stranger is now living there.
We kept saying, the house is not for rent.
And they can't get him out.
I will not leave this property. That's 100%.
It's a complicated case, as Durson is claiming he innocently rented the house via a mysterious landlord he found on Gumtree. Durson is fighting the eviction, and 24 hours before the court hearing, he drops a bombshell.
They decided to put in a defence, a 40-page defence. Personally, I think that's a tactic because they know that this matter has been listed for 5 minutes today. And they, I believe, are hoping that the very size of that document will be enough to make the court think, well, it doesn't have enough time to consider everything that it raises, and therefore it will be adjourned to a later date. Do I believe that we will win this case eventually? Absolutely. But will the court have enough time today to consider the issues? You know, I've seen these cases go either way.
For Simon and Claire, Durson's defence, claiming he's a legitimate tenant who has paid £4,000 to a man on Gumtree, only piles on the pressure.
How are you feeling?
Stressed.
Try not to be.
Very.
Okay, try not to be. We'll do whatever we can to try and get this nailed today.
Brilliant.
Keep calm and we'll go in.
Okay, lovely.
Okay.
I'm so nervous now.
But Durson fails to turn up to defend the action. And an hour later, the hearing's over.
Great result. Brilliant. Order for possession.
We're super happy with the outcome.
Really good news. Despite their 40-page document that they sent through to us at 4 o'clock yesterday, it didn't work. The judge was great.
We've come full circle to where we were at the beginning, and it's just costed a lot of time and money to get here. Thanks a lot.
Pleasure. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
It's a great result, but frustratingly, they still can't get their home back for now. They need to instruct bailiffs, which will cost the couple yet more time and money. With rents and property prices soaring, letting out a home can look like a fail-safe way to bring in some extra income. But the dangers are all too real. Last year, over 5,500 homeowners had their house repossessed after failing to pay their mortgage. Claude Roberts, a hospital worker, is visiting the South London flat that for 2 decades was his home.
This is my flat, this top floor here. Those blinds which looks like they've seen better days. Them curtains there, that looks like they've never been washed in 8 years. Appalling. It was a lovely place. Nice place to be. Lived there for about 20 years. Was my home, basically.
When Claude moved to a new home in Kent 9 years ago, he decided to rent the flat out. At first, all seemed fine with his tenants, Beatrice and her boyfriend. But 3 years ago, they stopped paying the rent and his problems began.
Originally, she moved in with the boyfriend and the boyfriend left. From there on, she paid no rent, didn't answer the door, didn't answer the phone, and they actually now owe me $27,300.
Because of family problems, Claude has been slow to chase the missing rent. As a result, he can't pay the mortgage on the house he lives in Kent, and that house is now in real danger of being repossessed.
The property where I live now has got a possession order on it. I've had to suffer and go without. My children have suffered from this. I mean, there's been a knock-on effect in many ways. I've had to do 2 jobs at times in order just to keep things going, you know, working 7 days a week. To keep someone in my property, it's not what I know. I've always known that I've got to work for a living, and anything I have, I pay for it, you know.
In desperation, Claude has called in Paul Champlina from Landlord Action to help get his nightmare tenant out.
All right. How are you?
Nice to see you.
How you been keeping?
Oh, I've seen better days, as you know, but hence why I've called for you.
Yeah, no, okay. Well, look, let's do this, so let's try and catch her in. So it's these 2. How long ago did you live in it then?
Nearly 20 years.
Nearly 20 years? Oh, my God. So you've got a really emotional tie as well to property.
It's very emotional.
Paul and Claude are serving the tenant with papers, telling her a court date has been set to have her evicted.
Right, so I'll leave her talking to me. You hang back. I want to try and get her to the door. Beatrix? Beatrix? Hi, Beatrix. I've got this for you. Feel the heat. Can you feel how warm that is?
Shut the door deliberately.
What?
Shut the door deliberately in the bedroom.
She's in the bedroom, she won't come out. So I'm going to serve. Okay, so she's been served. All right, notice served, step 1 there, it's a waiting game.
Sure.
In 4 months' time, you're going to get the property back.
For Claude, it's the first step to bringing his 3-year nightmare to an end. If the case goes his way, he should have the tenant out in 4 months. In Britain, it's said your home is your castle. We all have the right to a secure roof over our head, as long as we pay the rent or mortgage. But in today's topsy-turvy rental market, that's not always the case, as one unlucky East London man discovered.
This one, the white one, this one. The white curtain in the middle, sorry.
Father of two, Hamza Omar, is returning to the council flat, which until recently was his home.
This is my sitting room, and this is my kitchen. And this is the bathroom and the toilet. 11 years I live in this address.
That is, until he made a fatal mistake. He claims he did a favor for a friend, allowing a mother and her baby to move into his flat for a week. And now, 6 months later, he finds himself locked out of his own home. In desperation, Hamza asked eviction specialist Chris Sharp to start legal proceedings to get his home back.
This is a kind of story that when you hear, it makes your blood boil. My client, being the kind of guy that he is, gave his own bedroom to this lady and to her baby. She moved her husband in.
Hamza claims that after 3 weeks of repeatedly asking them to go, he finally called the police. But they told police they were legitimate tenants and paying Hamza rent.
The police, when presented with the young lady and a baby and her husband, they advised my client to move out.
In an extraordinary turnaround, that night, he ended up sleeping in this shed.
I sleep one night there. Then I figured out in the morning what to do. I'm gonna call a couple of friends, somebody I know is bringing bad memory. That's the way it is, what's happened.
Hamza has been effectively homeless these past 6 months.
There's so much sad story there. They look at us. The baby. I want to go back to my home as I look at it every time when I pick up the letters, sadly, and I walk away.
Today, they're heading to court. Crossing their fingers, the judge will award Hamza possession of his flat.
Hi, Hamza.
Hi, hello, Chris.
How are you?
Yeah, fine. Love to see you.
Well, listen, we're keeping an eye out for the occupiers. They're on very thin ice now. So what we can do is go in, put the case before the judge, and let's see if we get the order today.
Yeah, that's it. That's good news.
Okay, let's go. Let's go in then, yeah? Okay. It wouldn't surprise me at all if they turn up today. Let's hope it goes well. But you know, it could go either way.
If the trespassers do turn up and make a defence, it could lead to the case being rescheduled and yet more months of homelessness for Hamza. But they fail to turn up to defend the action, and the case is soon over.
That's very good to see.
Got the order. They didn't show. You were relieved.
Yeah,
I was relieved.
Yeah, I was even the judge himself. Thanks for that.
Oh, no. This is why we do it. Okay, this is why we do it.
That's good news.
I am as relieved as you are that we've got that. This is the beginning of the end. It really is.
Yeah. Thanks very much,
Hamza,
Chris.
pleasure. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Cheers, Hamza. Bye-bye now.
Okay.
Hamza has got what's called a possession order in trespass, which means, in theory, he can evict the occupiers himself immediately. But Chris has warned him to be careful and is recommending he calls in bailiffs.
Because it's an order in trespass, technically, Hamza could go down there and use reasonable force to get them out. I would never, ever advise that, because what's reasonable, what isn't, and he would run the risk of getting arrested.
But not only is Hamza desperate to get back into his flat, he can't afford bailiffs. Ignoring Chris's advice, he heads straight to the property, intent on getting the trespassers out there and then.
Now we're gonna check, we're gonna go to the property. Finger crossed he don't give us any trouble, you know. Here we are, we reach our house. Let me check if somebody in. Yeah, we are. Mr. Omar speaking. Yes, how are you? Yeah, fine. We got the court order for eviction today. You didn't come to the court today. So we got the evictions. Are you ready? Pick your stuff.
Which stuff?
To go out because we got the court order today.
When?
Today.
Is it today?
Yeah, today.
So let me call my lawyer first, yeah?
When you gonna be ready to
No,
go?
you don't need to ask me anything.
Chris has got wind Hamza is at the property and heads over.
So I need to talk to my lawyer first, yeah?
Lawyer?
Yeah. So I'll get back to you, yeah?
When? Because we already have got the court order to leave the property.
You know what?
After 7 months.
I've said it. I need to call my lawyer, yeah? After I call my lawyer, then get back to you, yeah?
Say, when you gonna call your lawyer, you mean?
Hamza.
Worried the situation may boil over, Chris tries to cool things down.
You've got the order.
Yeah?
Let's move away now. Let's walk away.
I hope everything will be all right when you leave in the house and in good position anyway.
Why are you passing
Yeah?
me? Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Let me call my lawyer.
Huh?
Let's move away.
Yeah.
He's not going to go. You'd
Yeah.
have to use force. I would not advise you do that.
Yeah.
You'll get arrested.
We got the court order.
You will get arrested.
Okay,
And
that's
I do
fine.
not want that to happen.
Let's go. Bye-bye, yeah. Thank you.
For Hamza, it's a real dilemma. Does he do it by the book and pay bailiffs to get the trespassers out, which will cost yet more time and money? Or does he wait until he gets the paperwork and risk trying to get them out on his own? Hamza Omar claims that 6 months ago, he was kicked out of his own flat after inviting some acquaintances to stay with him, who then claimed tenants' rights. After a lengthy legal battle, a judge has ordered them to leave. And 2 days later, Hamza has the paperwork to prove it.
This is an order from the court, so hopefully today is going to be the end. I hope so.
Now that he's got proof of possession, Hamza is returning to the flat in another attempt to get his trespassers out. That's despite advice from his lawyer, Chris Sharp, who's advised Hamza to wait and pay for bailiffs.
Yeah, yes, please open. Hello, Mr. Akani. We got the order for position.
Yeah, I don't want to see the order.
Yeah, you have to see the order. This
I'm not going to see it.
by law, you have to pick up the order.
No, me and you, we are seeing in court on the 14th.
No, this is your order.
See you on the 14th.
Okay, let's call the police and see if it's going to come in.
Hamza calls the police, hoping they'll enforce the order of possession.
Hello, the police, please. We ask police for help. We give him the order position. He never accepted. So I need the police. I just got my right. 60 minutes. Yeah, we wait. If anything, you can call me this number. Thank you. We're going to wait until the police is come. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. He don't want to listen to the law. It's nearly 60 minutes now.
An hour comes and goes, and there's no sign of the police. so he calls again.
Yeah, the police, please.
To find out why they haven't arrived.
They said they're gonna be 60 minutes. I would like to know if they're coming. I need the police to just tell him, take the order now. I just need the police to give him the order now.
The police tell him that as far as they're concerned, this is a civil dispute and he needs to get a bailiff and a locksmith. They will only come out for a breach of the peace. In desperation, Hamza tries a different tactic.
It's a counter property. Okay, if it's gonna be fight there, I'm gonna go there and damage the door, and whatever happened to me and him, then the police guy is gonna come. That's what you advise me now, isn't it? Okay. They don't want to come. Let's go back. We cannot pay the locksmith. We will do it ourselves.
Hamza decides to confront the trespasser again and phones the police to tell them what he's doing.
I'm going to the front door now, but it's gonna be a big fight. Then you're gonna come. Yeah. Yeah. And the bailiff is gone because it costs me money. It costs too much money to pay them by hour. It's gone. Yeah. Cut this your court order.
No, I'm not going to take anything from you. Yeah?
Yeah, this with the police now.
No, let's go.
The police,
I'm waiting to police.
If the police, if they come,
yeah, I'm waiting
it's going to harm forever. This is the court order.
I'm
you have to take
for
it.
Police.
Yeah. Yeah, he shut the door now. We were going to fight, then you're going to come. Yeah. Mr. Case, what is going to say?
For your information, I'm going to see your leg here again.
Yeah, this one.
Don't come to this place again.
This one. This is the order. This is a court order. This is a court order, yeah?
I'm going to see you in court January 14th.
This is the court order you have to follow. Yeah, fucking bastard. This is the court order. You have to follow the court order. That's it. He's laughing inside.
With no sign of the police and out of options, Hamza calls lawyer Chris Sharp, who's been helping with the case.
Hello? Yeah, Chris, this is Mr. Omar here. He was aggressive for us. When we called the police, they refused to come.
Hamza, if the police are refusing to get involved, which, as I advised you, there was always this chance that they wouldn't. It's a grey area. What I now suggest you do is simply walk away and instruct the bailiffs. Because you will end up getting yourself into trouble if you try and take back possession yourself, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You will end up getting arrested, okay? I do not want you to do that, Hamza.
Yeah, I understand.
And I'm advising you against that, okay?
Bye-bye, yeah, bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Bye. Then that's the way it is. Only we have to involve the sheriff, and that's the law. You cannot do it in yourself. I just have to look at my property and go away as I do normal. I don't have any choice. Just look from the window, the door, and leave as I done it before for 6-7 months. That's it.
Hamza has little choice. He will have to find more money he doesn't have to pay for bailiffs to remove his trespassers. Only then will he get his flat back. For the last 4 months, Claire and Simon's old family home has been occupied by Durson Alton. He refused to leave, claiming he was a legitimate tenant. Eviction day has finally arrived, and with Simon unable to attend, Claire hopes today will be the end of their nightmare.
I just want my house back. I mean, this has cost, we're looking at probably about 5 grand. It's cost us just to get our house back. There is an element of nervousness. I don't know what to expect when I get in there. I mean, people are weird, aren't they? I mean, you don't just walk into somebody's house and then find out you're not supposed to be there and stay. So who can predict what they're going to do? Hi, Chris.
Hi, Claire, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Eviction specialist Chris Sharp arrives to check that everything goes to plan.
Have you seen any activity since you've been here?
No.
Do you think they've gone?
I'm hoping they've gone. Bailiffs are here. Hopefully there won't be anybody in there, and the bailiffs will authorise the locksmiths to break the door.
Because the locks have been changed, getting in is far from easy.
Is the bottom one on?
I'm so nervous now.
It looks empty, but it also looks, to be honest, in an OK condition. Time will tell, won't it? I've just been speaking to the neighbours, and they said that there was somebody in here this morning, just 2 or 3 hours ago. They clearly didn't want anybody to get in there easy, did they?
No.
Bit of a tough one, this one, isn't it?
Like a double lock.
It might be a double lock.
I knew it wasn't going to be that easy.
These guys won't be beaten by this lock.
No.
We're in. Hooray! All right.
After you.
All right, bailiff. Bailiff, anyone on? Bailiff.
Finally inside, it initially looks promising.
Just glad that we've got it back.
But then there's a problem.
Where's the other half of the sofa? There should be another... This is a two... Where's the other half of the sofa? They've taken one of our sofas. Oh, there's the other half of the sofa. OK, right, they've brought it upstairs. So they're obviously using that for another bed. Look at this, they've got all these spare beds.
Were these beds not in before?
No! This place was empty. Completely empty.
Although Durson claimed to Claire that only he and his partner were living in the house, there are 6 beds in 3 rooms.
It's just beggars belief. It really does.
It's just a cheek, isn't it?
Random bed.
Chris suspects that Durson was allowing other people to live in the property. But that's not all.
Solid wood door, look at the state of that.
That's been hit with a hammer.
They cost a bloody fortune. OK, well, I guess it's back to square one. Start cleaning again.
Claire calls Simon to tell him about the state of the house.
Hi. We're in.
And?
Yeah, no, there's beds all over the place.
Yeah. And what sort of state's the house in?
It's grubby, it's not broken. There is a massive hammer hole in the attic bedroom door.
So, I mean, what does the house need?
Other than a good clean, Simon, from top to bottom, I think the house will be OK. And they've not left a load of gear either, so I think you can pretty much move on straight away with it.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for your help, mate.
No problems. No problems at all. I think what you've got to remember here today is that, yeah, whilst we've got the property back, this is the end of an incredibly frustrating journey for Claire and for Simon. And, you know, this isn't, if you like, the happy ending. It's the ending that we should have never had to have, because it should never have happened in the first place.
Absolutely.
Right, Claire.
Cool.
I'll see you later, OK?
Thanks.
All the
Cheers,
best.
Chris.
Cheers.
See you.
With the unlawful tenants gone and the house back in Claire and Simon's possession, they waste no time getting it back on the market and are optimistic of a quick sale. Seven months ago, Hamza Omar invited some acquaintances to stay for a week, but they've kept him out of his flat for the last 7 months. He's won a possession order, but Chris Sharp is heading back to court. The trespassers are claiming they didn't know about the previous court case. They've managed to get another hearing, and their eviction is on hold.
It really is a disgrace, and you could not make these facts up at all. And now we're going on our way to court to fight yet another application made by the defendants. You know, they're not addressing the issues. They're just using the court process to frustrate and protract matters.
The trespassers have turned up with full legal representation, including a barrister.
It could go either way. Obviously, we're going to oppose the application, and we're going to try and get the order to stick and for the bailiffs to go ahead in the next couple of days. So we'll just have to see how it goes.
I'm feeling very stressed because we're fighting for our right. That's what we're asking.
The hearing goes on for over an hour.
They got blown out of the water inside. And as a result of that, Hamza gets his property back. He's waited 7 months.
Good news, after all this waiting, they're coming, yeah. Yeah, they're coming now, yeah.
And they're out, they're finished, they're done. Do not go round to that property though, Hamza.
No, I'm not going.
Get the sheriffs to do their job.
Yeah.
Get them round there ASAP.
Yeah.
Get those people out of your lives.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Hamza can finally look forward to putting the last 7 months of homelessness behind him and getting back into his flat. Claude Roberts has received no rent from his tenant for 3 years and has now lost a staggering £30,000. He hasn't been able to keep up the payments on his own home, and he's in danger of having that repossessed. Today, he's heading to court, hoping to have his nightmare tenant evicted.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah that I'm going to be able to have my say in court after all these years. It was beginning to look like this day would never come, because 3 years is a long time. This is really vital, because I've been trying to pay 2 mortgages for the best part of 3 years. So it's left me in a lot of debts, left me with a lot of problems. Excited. I'm feeling absolutely excited, hoping that things can get a result finally.
With so much riding on the hearing, Claude's worried his tenant may show up to make a defence and buy herself more rent-free time in his flat.
I don't think she's going to show, but then you never know. I don't want to count my chickens until they hatch, to be honest with you. So I'm just going to take things one step at a time. I'm glad we're here, because that's a step in the right direction, but let's just see what the outcome is now.
The hearing takes just under an hour, and the good news is his tenant didn't turn up.
Brilliant. The judges okayed it, and so we've now got a possession order, albeit it's going to be 14 days. I'm chuffed, really, really chuffed. I was beginning to worry that this day may never come, and the fact that it's actually here now is just a wonderful feeling, you know? I actually feel like phoning up work now saying, I'm not coming in tonight. I'm going out to celebrate, but no, I'm really, really pleased. Somersaults? Yeah, very happy. Way! Over the moon. Yes.
It's taken 3 years of grief, but Claude will still have to wait another 14 days before he can get his home back. Just over 2 weeks later, and the day his tenant was due to leave has come and gone.
I've got a strong feeling she's still going to be there, so that's why I'm just going to turn up there, see if she's still there. And it'd be nice for her to say, all right, I'm going to get my stuff and I'll be out the house by the weekend. That would be really great. Very, very slim chance. All I've found is that she's just been oblivious to the fact that she's doing wrong. It's criminal. It's absolutely criminal. I mean, people's gone to prison for less money, for God's sake, and yet somehow this is legal. You know, I mean, £30,000, and it's more than £30, is a lot of money. Here we are.
Claude has a legal letter to remind his tenant of the possession date. After 3 years of trying to get her out, he suspects she'll drag out her stay as long as possible.
Hello, Beatrice, are you there? I don't think she's there. No.
Minutes pass, and Claude resorts to calling his tenant.
Hi, Beatrice. I'm posting a letter that you said you didn't receive through the door, so you receive it. Okay. No, this letter is to tell you that basically you should have left yesterday, the 12th. Then I will actually issue bailiffs in order to give you a date for when you need to leave the premises. Also, you owe now over 30,000. It's got 30,100. How do you intend paying that? You're late. You've got an appointment, so you don't want to discuss the money you owe. You do not want to discuss the money. The minute I mentioned the money, she began to talk about she's late for somewhere and she's got somewhere she needs to go. So, all I can do is, I've got this letter here. Okay, it's coming to the end of a free stay. Better late than never. One letter going through.
For Claude, after 3 years of hell and £30,000 out of pocket, he knows that in 6 weeks' time, his nightmare will finally be over.
At least now I know that all I need to do now is actually to arrange for bailiffs to set a date, and by that day, hook or by crook, she will have to leave, you know? And I'll probably be singing the song, Hit the Road, Jack, you know? But I won't sing it yet until that time comes.